Yo, what's good, everybody? And thank you for tuning in to another Tyler Perry Sisters review. I don't know if they deemed this as the mid-season finale, but we know this was the last episode until the show comes back on January 4th. This was season 5, episode 11, entitled Dead to Rights. If this is your first time coming to my channel, welcome. If you are a returning family member, you already know what it is and what it always will be. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, comment, whatever, if that's what you choose to do. If not, just sit back, relax, and we're going to get into this thing. Now I'm going on record and say the last 2 episodes of this season, episode 10 and 11, by far my favorite episodes of season 5. And I was trying to think, because last week I didn't know why episode 10 was my favorite. But I really sat with this, and I'm going to tell y'all why a little later as to why these 2 episodes are my favorite episodes of the first half of the season. So, of course, we pick up where we left off with Robin, Gary, and Andi. And so, I was on the energy Andi was on, because I was like, why is Robin at her house? I don't care what he felt was so important. You didn't have permission, authority, consent to be at my house. It's one thing, as he stated, he called Andi because he had some important information to share with her, but she wasn't answering her phone. And he figured he'd just show up. I said, oh, really? You figured you just show up at my house when we have come so far with technology? Robin could have called. Okay, that wasn't a go. He could have left a voice message. He could have sent her a voice note. He could have sent her a text message. Damn it, he could have sent her an email. There were so many things he could have done to get her attention instead of just popping up at her house unannounced. So we find out that Gary sees him, in the lobby and invites him up because he had something so important he had to tell Andi. And so Gary figures it's important. Yeah, come on up. So whatever you got to say in front of her, you can say it in front of me. Now, I did appreciate the fact that Andi did not discuss Sabrina's personal business in front of Gary. She basically asked him to wait for her, in the bedroom so her and Robin could have their talk. So we find out from Robin, that he did his due diligence, made some calls, and he was able to get Sabrina out the next morning. However, her bail was going to be a crazy amount of money. And so just like Andi, I'm okay, how much money we talking? So Robin says $3 million to get her out. I said, $3 million? I said, well, then who she killed? Royalty? I said, Sabrina better get comfy cozy in that little cot. $3 million? I said, you know what? That prosecutor has to go. And it's sad because Sabrina hasn't done $3 million. That's all I kept thinking about. I was like, damn, I know Andi got banked, right? Andi is a millionaire. But $3 million? I said, wow. She was like, I can't come up with that in the morning. I probably could come up with half. But that's about all I got. Then she does, to me, what I consider the unthinkable. She tries to put on this voice to ask Robin, could he give her half the money? I said, now hold the hell on. Hold the hell up. You have a man in there who has money. I don't know how much Gary working with, but Gary, I'm sure, is a multimillionaire. I'm going to need you to see what he can do. This is beyond and past Robin's pay grade. You wanted everything to be professional between you and him, then damn it, keep it professional. Asking him for $1 million, a $1.5 million loan, that is way beyond professional. That is what, I'm like, Andi, you got to pick your battle. And I think that's something I see with all these women, everybody included. You say one thing, then want to do something else, and it just doesn't make any sense. And I'm going to get on Fatima in a little minute because she fits that criteria definitely in this episode to me. And so basically Robin, just like myself, how the hell you going to pay this back? You don't even have the funds for this. How is this going to work? And so, she said she'd be able to pay him back, and they did the math as to how you go to trial or you go to whatever, you get the money back, however they decide to do it. I just didn't like the fact that she asked Robin to give her half the money. I said, Lord, where's the justice for Sabrina? Where's the justice? But thank God our good sis got out. Lord, this did the girl so wrong. But I said $3 million. I think I'm good with money and, saving and stuff. But if somebody hit me like, hey, dog, it's going to cost $1 million to get your friend out. And I probably would have been like, you know what? She did, do something foul to me in 12th grade. Let her sit there for a little minute. I don't know. I ain't got it. But that part, I just couldn't get down with it. It was ridiculous. But when Robin finally leaves and she tells Gary to come out, Cheeto is so fine. And the fact that he looks good, he makes Gary a little tolerable for me, even though I can't stand him. But because I really do like Cheeto, he makes Gary tolerable, especially this season. I don't know, but I always thought he was a good looking guy, but he just became super de-duper fine to me in season 5. I don't know what's going on. I really don't. I'm like, whatever toxicity that may be lying in me that I'm not aware of, it needs to go. Because Gary ain't nothing but toxicity. And I don't really want to look at him like that, even though I'm referring to Cheeto. But anyway, so he comes out in the towel. We know what happens after that. They're acting so giddy and like 2 high school kids who sneaking around about to get some. Moving right along, we get to Danny and Preston. I didn't know what to think about this scene. They wake up, they're in bed together. He asked her how she slept, so on and so forth. And so we know that Danny has not told Preston what happened. And basically he told her that this was the first time since they started seeing each other that they did not have sex. And even though it was cool and everything, it was cool, but I think he probably would have preferred the sex if he could have got the sex. But, he was looking around her apartment and he asked what happened. Obviously something took place here, but she told him it was redecorating. And I was like, and I understand it may be too soon for her to be in a place to relive that by sharing what happened to her. But I do believe at some time in the recent future, she needs to tell Preston exactly what happened because, then she was putting on her robe. And I thought it was, even though it was kind of like a throwaway line, but to me it meant so much more. He was like, why don't you get out your bed and put on your robe like a normal person? Because she was trying to put on her robe in the bed. And I was like, I wonder if Danny is feeling a little uneasy by being not naked, but being somewhat of showing her skin to him. I wondered that. But because like I've stated in these past couple reviews, how these women, they don't get to process anything. So it's kind of hard to say, oh, she's doing this because this happened. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Because Danny is the comedic character. But I do believe there was some significance as to why she didn't fully get out of the bed and put her robe on in front of him. She did it, in the confinements of her bed, security of her bed, where he really couldn't see anything. At least that's what I gather from it. But I really want them to have, a serious conversation. So Preston goes to take a shower or use the restroom. I can't remember. And Danny finds an engagement ring in his pocket. I said, oh, Danny, just act like you didn't see it, sis. And Preston, please don't propose. Y'all are I know Zac and Fatima are engaged. I don't think any couple on this show needs to be engaged at this moment because you've only known each other for a good month, if that's the case. Less for Zac and Fatima. Nobody should be engaged to get married at this point in their lives. That's just me, and I'm going to get into that. So, speaking of Zac and Fatima, Zac is up early. He's eating breakfast. He tells Fatima about this lawyer that Bryce put him on to. He's going to go see her about the child support or whatever. And so, and so Fatima brings up the fact as to why, she's not wearing her wedding ring. And honestly, I think it was a lame ass excuse of a reason. Basically, Fatima tells Zac that, she trusts Andi. She really does, but she doesn't wear her ring to work because Andi may tell Karen that they're engaged and it might trigger her and make things even worse for him. I said, hold the hell on, Fatima. Don't do that. Don't put that on Karen. That's you, sis. I was looking to see if anybody was going to call her out. And I think not that somebody didn't do it. I'm just saying what I saw. I think there was only one person who basically felt the same way I felt that's on a public platform, that I was like, yeah, I felt it was a lame ass excuse. Why would you stifle or hinder your happiness because you're concerned about how Karen is going to feel or how Karen is going to take it? I didn't like that because I'm like, She was like, I don't want to say anything until the results come in. What does it matter? If the baby is Zac's, hiding your engagement, what does that matter? If it's not Zac, that didn't make sense to me. And I didn't like the way that Tyler wrote that. I felt like, if we gonna be honest, what the hell is Fatima's storyline on Sisters? I don't know. I don't know what it is. You just waiting to see what mess Zac gets into next. I don't know, because I'm like, why would it be written for Fatima not to have on her engagement ring because of what Karen might say? And I'm like, make it bad for him how? So if the baby says, what is Karen gonna do? Not allow him to see the child? That's why you go to court for custody, joint custody, or whatever, a visitation. She's gonna try to get as much as she can from him, from child support. Oh well, he should have thought about that before he had unprotected sex with these women. So I'm still not understanding. Like, I felt it was lame. I felt it was a lame ass excuse. And then in the same breath, she looking at Zac like, where is my man? Where is my man that had confidence? Where is my man that... I said, hold up. This man proposed to you. You accepted. You accepted the proposal, but you're not wearing your ring because you're concerned about his ex. I don't expect him to be all chippy and happy about that. Why does it matter what anyone else said? That's how I feel about that. I felt it was a lame ass excuse. I thought it was bullshit, to be perfectly, if I could be all the way honest about what Fatima said as to the reason why she is not wearing her ring. I thought it was stupid. Just in my personal opinion, I thought it could have been a better, maybe she's just not I just didn't like that Tyler wrote it that way. I felt using Karen as a scapegoat is old. And using Karen as a scapegoat as to why Fatima is not wearing her ring, I think it was just poor and lazy execution on Tyler's part. Not more so the character of Fatima, but more so poor execution or thought on Tyler's behalf. And so we get to a short scene with Karen and Aaron. So it looks like Karen made him breakfast. Obviously, she can cook. I don't know if we ever seen her cook before. I can't remember, but it was good. It was a cute little scene with them two. And he was saying he was going to go in the office for a while, and she was going to go to the doctor's appointment. And he asked her, like, you're not going to be at the shop all day, because basically I'm going to call your mom and tell on you if you do. And so, they gave each other a kiss, told each other they loved each other, and he went on about his way. And then she called Andi. And so I'm going to pause right there. And I think the reason why these past two episodes have been really good to me is because, one, it's so amazing, like, with energy and how something can make someone feel, I think, just even watching. And I think when Karen is not acting mean and belligerent and just unstable emotional wise, it's a different feel of the show for me. And also with the camaraderie of the women on the show in this particular episode, it was beautiful to watch, because I'm thinking, you call the show Sisters. If you want us to buy into that, at least have them acting like sisters. They all have enough drama and chaos and turmoil in their own individual lives. When they come together, let them show sisterhood. Let them show love. Let them show concern. It makes for a great show. They don't have to have confrontation amongst each other. You know what I'm saying? I think because we haven't seen that in these last two episodes, it's like a different feel of show for me. And I wish, and I don't get too happy about it because I know how Tyler is, but I'm like, please keep this. You can have these women be tight. You can have these women, show camaraderie amongst each other, and you can still have their outside drama. And I just hate the fact that we see them argue and bash each other more than they show love and concern. I think that's why these two episodes, they felt different, because that hasn't been the core of what we've been watching. And so I'm like, Tyler, please keep this going. But like I said, you can't get too happy because we all know how this goes. So Karen calls Andi, and, Andi tells her that, Sabrina's going to be getting out. And Karen hears Gary in the background. So she's like, oh, what he doing over there? What's going on? Andi did the typical friend thing. Huh, girl, what you said? Okay, yeah, I'm about to get off the phone. Like, I don't even want to go there with you right now. So I'm going to end this conversation before it goes any further. So Gary comes out the shower looking, absolutely amazing. And Gary is I couldn't deal with this type of man. Now, I do understand the power of affirming your partner, but Gary is a type of person who needs he needs to be affirmed all the time. The first words out of his mouth, like that he told Andi, he was like, you saw how I handled that, like you saw how I did that. And she was like, what, you know, how I acted with Robin. And it's just like, you're an adult, my dude. You should be able to hell, you invited him up. So how were you supposed to act? I said, see, the validation. He needs to be constantly validated. And so for me, that comes from insecurity. When you have an insecurity, you want somebody to always validate where you're weak at. So I do believe Gary know he ain't shit. That he just does. And I'm just like, you know that. So you have to constantly be pacified. You know what I'm saying? You have to constantly be validated in the areas that you know you're no good in, that you know you're weak in. You know Andi can get someone better, but for whatever reason, she's dealing and tolerating you. And I just don't like that trait with Gary. And I know especially, not saying women don't act this way too, man. I'm not trying to bash y'all or call y'all out. I'm just only speaking on what I've experienced and people around me. When you're dealing with an insecure man, you have to be so very careful, because a lot of insecure men they beat women. They are abusive in every possible way because they have to feel like they have some type of power and control over that person or over a situation. And they only do that because they need to feel strengthened, because they know in certain areas I am inadequate in. So I have to overcompensate in certain areas. And that's how I just feel. That's why I don't like Gary, because he is definitely the poster child for an abusive person, a manipulative and controlling individual. And Andi just continues to choose to play with fire, which is beyond me. And so we get to Karen and Pam, and it was a cute little scene. You know, we saw their banter, but Pam comes in and realizes she left the curlers on all night. Now, in the world of technology, now this even back in the day, when you left your curlers on, after they reach a certain temperature, they will automatically turn off. And I'm like, I'm going to need for Tyler Perry not to be playing in our face, because I believe that Karen has enough money that she has, you know, top tier equipment in her salon where at a certain time something would cut off, because Pam comes in like, oh, damn, and she cuts it off, and Karen is walking behind her, and they have their little, you know, banter back and forth or whatever. And I do enjoy Pam a lot, because I feel like her sincere approach to Karen, it comes from a genuine place. You know, Karen was concerned, like, girl, my shop could have burned down, and this is really all that I have. Like, this all I got. Don't mess it up for me. And so, you know, Pam was like, girl, I'm gonna call your mama. Basically, I'm shut up. And so Karen was like, well, you call my mama, I'm gonna tell on you too, because you ain't handling your business, which is why I'm here, you know, so on and so forth. So, you know, they had, like I said, their banter back and forth. And then we get to Danny and Andi, and they're at court. The prosecutor's just an asshole. I don't even know his name, but he's just an asshole. And so he consistently brings up his divorce to Andi as if she's the reason why he's divorced. No, sir. I understand why your wife left you. You're the reason for your divorce. Get over it. And you need to take it up with your law firm. Maybe they're not paying you as much because you constantly bring up the fact of how much money Andi won for your wife. Maybe you should have hired Andi instead. But since you didn't, boo-boo, you got to live with the consequences. Your wife getting with it. He needs to be got. You know what I'm saying? Normally, I don't root for characters to be killed off. But this dude here, he can go. And he can go in the worst way possible. I wouldn't care. I'm sorry. I've been violent lately when doing these reviews, but I'm like, Lord, just send him away somewhere. You ain't got to kill him, but doggone, just send him on. You ain't got to go to glory, but send him on down the way. Send him to another state or something. And so we see Sabrina get out. Sabrina gets out. She gives Danny a hug. She gives Andi a hug. Gives Andi a hug. Karen is on the phone with Danny. I believe it was Danny. And she spoke to Sabrina and told Sabrina that she loved her, you know, and she wanted to see her, and she would check on her after she got out of the after she left her doctor's appointment. And it was just a cute scene. I was just so glad that Sabrina is out because it's just a horrible situation. So we get to what's the boy name? Maurice. We get to Maurice and this asshole of a prosecutor, and basically Maurice is pleading his innocence. I didn't do anything. The man lets him hear this so-called confession, and he was like, it was a joke. Anybody would, can pick that up. And it's like, no, bro, but you admitted to doing something illegal, whether it's in a jokey form or whatever. You admitted something. And so he was like, I know you didn't did it. I know you didn't do it. It was Sabrina. And Maurice is like, no, Sabrina didn't have anything to do with it. I didn't have anything to do with it. I'm not telling on my friend. So he was like, basically, you signed this. You can walk out today. It was Sabrina's fault. And I said, you know what? It's sad, but this is life. And the bad part is this prosecutor is so bitter. It's giving bitter. It's giving regrets about how things worked out with his divorce settlement, that you're willing to put an innocent person in prison for 30 years for something she didn't do. And it's sad because the judicial system does this all the time to innocent people. Innocent people everybody in prison is not guilty, you know what I'm saying? But because they didn't have either the proper representation or it was enough evidence to make it look like, because it's just reasonable doubt pretty much. And it's sad. I'm just like, if Sabrina didn't have a connection in Andi, who had a connection in Gary, she would still be in jail, which is, it's incredibly sad, but that's a whole nother video, and I'm not going to get into that. But Maurice tells him, no, you need to check with Q. You need to call Q. He's the person that's behind, this whole thing, pretty much. So Zac goes to see this lawyer. And let me just say, I briefly turned my head for a quick moment. Get back to watching the show. And I'm like, is this lady looking at Zac like she want him? I just want Tyler Perry. Don't get me wrong. DeVal is fine. There is no denying that. He's fine. But everybody ain't trying to have sex with Zac. Everybody don't want Zac. Please stop writing that in this show. The same thing on Zatima. Every woman, besides, I can't even think of her name, besides his homeboy wife, want Zac. I'm like, in what world? Like, please. Because I know, and women are, and men, I'm sure it's like this. So you can find somebody so attractive, and then once you get to know them, that attractiveness just, it go out the window like, well, damn, I'm glad I never went there. Like, you fine, but you aggravating as hell. Or you fine, but nah, dog, she's so immature, I can't even look at her like that no more. Like, everybody don't want that. But anyway, that was a little rant. So the lady tells him, basically, these women could get 50% of what you have. And I was like, that's a big number. I don't think any woman should, that's just me, don't beat me up, I'm sorry. I don't think any woman should be getting 50% of someone's income or what have you. I am the type of woman where if you and that man can come to some type of agreement outside of court proceedings for your child, then do so. You know what I'm saying? Get it notarized, go have it be a legal document, you know what I'm saying, that you guys have agreed upon, and go from there. But unfortunately, in some cases, some people do have to go through the court because the situation is so toxic that they really can't deal with each other. So, she basically tells that, look, how are your relationship with these women? Are y'all cool? He basically like, nah, you might want to get cool. And I said this in my last review. I said, I guarantee if Karen's baby is Zac, he gonna try to have a conversation with her so that he don't have to pay as much as he can pay in child support. Now, they could come to an agreement. I would hope that would be the case, but, we'll get there when we get there. And so he was like, yeah, I should have had condoms. Well, bro, it's too late. Condoms can save you a hell of a great deal of drama if you don't. And it ain't the fact that you have them, because some people have them and still don't use them. I think I'm not going to say we've all been there. I've been there. It's like sometimes we get caught up, and sometimes we act very irresponsibly, and sometimes those things have repercussions, such as pregnancies, unwanted pregnancies with a person who you don't want to have a child with. But that's, such is life. It happens. So Karen agreed that she would wait until Danny and Andi got to the hospital before she got the results of her sonogram. And so when the doctor comes in, now that part was quick. And I knew Tyler was going to pull some BS like this. That part was quick. She came in. This is the conception date. She gave Karen the dates, which I think were a week apart. A week. Let me just say this, because I have read some comments that some stuff really throw me. Excuse me. Karen and Aaron did not have intercourse until the 3rd season of SISTAS. When they were in the hotel room, they did not have intercourse. When Zac came in, he caught Aaron going down on Karen. That's all that happened in that hotel room, because there are so many people who bring up the fact that Karen and Aaron had sex in the hotel room. They did not. They did not have intercourse. It was oral. So many people bring up the fact that Karen had sex with Aaron on the couch. Karen was already pregnant when her and Aaron had sex on the couch. She had sex with Zac in her closet / office. Like 2 days before, excuse me, she had sex the first time with Aaron. Please go back and watch. It's there. Excuse me, go back and watch the show. But the stuff I've seen just really tripped me out. So when the doctor, it was like the 12th and the 19th, that's what it was. So the date of consumption was the 12th. And she was like, you sure it was the 12th, not the 19th? And of course, lady was like, yeah, it was the 12th. So we don't know who she was with, the 12th or the 19th, but we know she was with Zac first in that closet before she ever had intercourse with Aaron. And we can go back and forth. The reason why I believe the child is Zac's is because this is Tyler Perry that we're talking about. For Karen to have a child with Aaron, it's not going to be that much drama. Tyler Perry, for whatever reason, wants to keep Karen and Zac together in some type of capacity. Why? I don't know. But I do know that it generates more drama. It gets people wild up. People are not going to get wild up if the baby is Aaron. Some people, because people want to be his so badly, I don't think it's his. I believe the baby is Zac's. It makes for better TV. It makes for better ratings. It makes for better drama and toxicity. And what I think is going to happen is the baby, now whether Karen carries this baby full term, now I don't think that's going to happen. That's just my 2 cents, unless there's a huge time jump, which I doubt that happens. However, it does create drama. How I think this is going to play out, and we can come back to this, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but this is what I think going to happen. I believe the baby is going to be Zac's. I also believe that Karen is not going to carry this baby full term. I believe that Zac is going to fall in love with the idea of having a child. Now, his child with Heather is already 3, so there are so many things that he's missed out with that particular son. This child with Karen, I think he's going to look forward to having a child that he could be there with from the very beginning. I think that Karen, like I said, is not going to carry the child full term, and I think that is going to cause some drama because Zac is going to be hurt about it, and Fatima is going to have to be there for her fiance, who is mourning the loss of his child with his ex, a woman who he was once in love with. And I think it's going to put a strain on. They ain't going nowhere. But it makes her better. If Tyler does it right, that's the best route to go. And then, you have Karen over here with Aaron, who got to help her go through her thing of losing a child with the man who he know she truly loved at one point and that was in love. Like, that makes better TV. It just makes sense, not about what people want to happen, but what makes sense for the story and the person who writing the story, which we know is Tyler Perry. But I think that would be the way to go. But we got to wait to January the 4th. And that's if. That's a big if. She even say who she was with. Because y'all know how Tyler love to drag these damn Karen, Zac situations. But we gonna see. But that's just my take on it. If I was writing it, that's what I would do. Because it makes better TV to me. But yeah. So I know that Christmas is coming up on Sunday. I think Sunday. I pray that you guys enjoy your families, your friends, however you're spending this holiday season. I'm on vacation for 2 weeks, thank God. But I'm gonna have some videos coming out, and then I'm gonna take a little break before the show comes back on January 4th. But I'll let you guys know. I have about 3, maybe 4 or 5 more videos coming out 2 will be about sisters, and the rest will be my Christmas movie reviews that I'm doing. Thank you everybody who has subscribed, commented. I appreciate you like the videos and all that good stuff. Until next time, I will holler at y'all later, and y'all be safe out there. Hold on. Y'all, I forgot to talk about Q getting his ass beat with that club. Now, all the props I gave Calvin, I'm taking half of them back. The fact that, okay, he called Sabrina. Sabrina's out of jail. He's like, oh, thank God. I get all that. Sabrina is made aware that Q is at Maurice and Calvin's house because he won't go. Sabrina was like, bump it. I'm coming over there. You know what I'm saying? I'm coming. She gets there. She's the one who initiates the beating of Q's ass. I said, Calvin, you sat there. You had to wait until Sabrina took hold of the club and began to go at Q, something you should have done a long time ago. So you only beat his ass by association. It wasn't even initiated by you. I don't know how I feel about that. My dog just got out of jail. She barely washed her ass. I don't even know if she got that far. But then she came over there and handled her business like a G, something that you couldn't do. I don't know if I should take back all my props I gave Calvin or half. That's debatable. But I was like, wait a minute, I got to come back because I forgot to talk about that scene. Big up to Sabrina. She's the true hero of episode 11. Okay, for real. I'm going this time. I'll holler at y'all later.